What's up, guys? Today I'm going to show you guys how to use TradeStation for the desktop version. So I'm going to show you guys how to use it specifically for like new people. I'm going to show you guys a really simple layout. I do have two other videos that you guys check it out on our YouTube channel to see how a different layout that I set up. It's a little bit more advanced. So I wanted to make it a little bit easier for people that are maybe not comfortable with hotkeys. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. All right, first thing you want to do is you want to come here to File, and you want to click Preferences, and you want to go to Order Entry. All right, since we're trading options, we want to go all the way down to Options, and we want to click on Validations and Confirms. So here you want to remove all confirmations, because if you try to enter a trade and you will get a window that says, are you sure, confirming, and it's going to waste some time. So we want to make sure we get rid of those right off the bat. Hit OK. All right, so next thing you want to do is you want to come here to apps. You can go to File, New Apps, or you can click the little apps if you don't have it. So what we want to do is we want to go to the Trade Manager. All right, so I usually always put it right here in this corner, and I kind of make it a little smaller. All right, so first thing is always, it's going to always show up here at the Orders tab. This is where you can see all your orders, like your actual entries, where you got filled at. But that's not where we want to go when we first enter. So we want to go here to the Positions tab. You click on that. All right, and then here is we want to do a little editing here. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to Settings, Preferences, and then we're going to go to the Position tabs here, and then we want to make it's going to show up like this: Open, Close, and then here at the Show Flat Positions, it's not going to be checked off or nothing. So what we want to do is we want to hit the Close P&L, and we want to Show Flat Positions, and then you press OK. All right, so what this pretty much does is it pretty much allows you to see your closed positions. It's kind of weird how it works that it doesn't show you where you close that. You could see it here where it says close P&L $0, but if you want to look at it on the Trade Manager, you have to go through that setting. So next thing you want to do is come here to Settings again, and you want to go to Columns. So here I already had done some editing here from previous. So I'm just going to show you how I have mine set up. So if you want to pause it to kind of match, you guys can go ahead and do that. But pretty much when you first have it, you're going to have like ask size, bid size. You're going to have like your account number if you want people to see that. A lot of people like to post their gains or show off people how much they made, but maybe they don't want to show off their account number. So we can easily just grab one of the things that we don't want. Like for example, like total cost, we can remove it, hit remove. And the closed P&L account, that one is always not already listed under the items here. So you actually have to come over here and add it. And then usually it'll set up somewhere here, depending on where you remove some of the items. So you just want to bring it down by clicking this button here, pretty much like that. You have it all the way to the end. Then you press OK. All right, so now you see here we have the symbol, position, quantity, average price, bid ask, open P&L account. So this right here is where you see the actual dollar amount. P&L shows the percentage, which is this is the one that you should be paying attention for risk management. And then how much you closed out, between if it's red or it's green. So that's pretty much the only things that we really focus on. We don't really touch any of the other tabs unless you really want to see your balances and stuff like that, but we really don't touch that. And or you want to see where you got filled and where you got closed at, just go to orders. You'll see it there. It'll show you like what you got filled at and what the best possible price that it gave you as well. Sometimes it's different. It gives you better improvements. So you want to keep it right here on positions. So the next thing you want to do is come here to apps, and you want to look for the radar screen, which is this one here. The radar screen, there's not much editing to do. It's just pretty much what we use it for is a placeholder. So we can load up contracts here, and then we execute them when we're ready. And it quickly allows us to execute between different contracts that are already loaded. So the only thing I do recommend is coming here to this little S here, clicking it, make sure it's on green. Now you can change it to different if you want to link them differently. If you want to remember, these are all windows, so you can link windows together however you want. So I typically like it to link it on the green local, but I also like to link my trade manager as well. So let's just say I'm in two plays. I can click any of these two and exit out when I'm ready. So that's pretty cool. So you just want to make sure it's linked. Now, one more thing that we want to have is the market depth. So market depth is like a level 2. It works for equity and it works for options, but typically it's always set up for options. Let me show you guys real quick how normally would show up. So here it always shows up like this for equity. So I just typed this in because it was already preloaded for options. So I just quickly loaded it for you guys so you guys can see. So when it says buy, sell, short, cover, when you see that, that's when you should know that the market depth's only set up for equity, so to buy shares. So in options, we don't want to see it like this. So typically we want to do too is we want to make sure this is linked to these three. Now, once you have the link, now we want to try to load up a contract so we can get this set up in options. All right, so what you want to do is you want to come here to file. I'm going to open the Option Station Pro. Now, I recommend you open it early in the morning because it's kind of slow. So you definitely wanted to keep it open in the morning and don't close it because it's pretty slow, as you can kind of see here. All right. Now, there's one more thing that I do want to show you guys before we get into the Option Station Pro. Let me go here. So here on the market depth, when you first get the market depth and you open it up, you're going to see it look like this. It's going to have these weird bars, these weird little things here. I'm not sure what these are for, right? I'm not sure what mathematical equation is trying to do here. So I don't typically use this. It's kind of a distraction because it moves so fast and you don't want to distract your eyes. So you come here to settings and you click summary pane and then you removes it. And then now you have just the data for the level 2 for the option. Now, let me open up the Option Station Pro. So Option Station Pro, this is where the option chain, this is where we copy contracts and load them into our radar screen. Now we're gonna load a couple just so I show you a quick example before we go back into the Option Station Pro. So let's just say we wanna load up the 740 contracts, we'll copy it, come here, and we'll paste it. And we'll go back here. Let's just say we're watching somebody's watch list or your own watch list, and you see like a level that somebody posted, or maybe some level that you found the night before or during pre-market, and you want to get your contract ready. So we'll click in the ticker symbol, and then we'll find a contract that we want to buy. For example, the 340s. Let's just say the level breakout was 340, so we wanted to buy those. We'll come here, paste it, right? And now that they're pasted, you can paste several of them as you want. I like to separate them a little bit just so I don't get confused on clicking something on accident. So I like to give them a little space. You don't necessarily have to do that. You can actually paste it here or below Tesla. But this is just my preference. So this window, we want to make sure we have it linked with the radar screen and with the trade manager. So all you have to do is click the contract, and now we're ready to see, we're ready to execute options on the market depth. Now you can kind of confirm this by looking at the symbol here where it says TSLA, 21 for the year, 09 for the month, 17 for the expiration date. And obviously this is a call for 740. So this is how we can kind of confirm. You definitely want to confirm because sometimes you think you have a contract loaded and you're actually loaded in a different contract. And it's happened to a lot of us where we enter a trade thinking we're in the right trade and end up finding out later that it's not moving because we're in a different trade. So definitely want to be careful on that. But now that we kind of going over the options here on the market depth. So if you look here at the trade bar, you see we have BTO and STC. BTO stands for buy to open and STC stands for sell to close. This STO and this BTC, these two buttons are like if you were trying to sell contracts, like you're not buying them, you're selling them. So you would sell here, and then to get out of the trade, you have to hit BTC to get out of the play. And it's like an inverse of regular trading, but you're actually the seller this time. You're not the buyer. And we only typically buy contracts and then we sell them. We don't initially sell them at the beginning and then buy them back to make up the price difference. We don't do that here at Elite Capital. So you want to make sure that it says BTO and SEC, right? Just so you confirm that you're on the options. Now, here's the quantity. Usually it starts you out with 5, but let's just say you're new and you're starting out with 1 contract. All right. So now the limit price. So this is actually the most important uh part of the market depth. So the limit price is pretty much the price that you're trying to get filled at. Now, yes, how you just seen me there where I just clicked one of these pending orders. You could just click like this and then press BTO and it possibly will fill you because you're going a little bit above the asking price, right? So, but here, TradeStation has this really cool feature called the hit or take. Now, the hit or take is pretty much like the sauce of TradeStation, right? It's the reason why the executions are really fast. So pretty much what it does, it tries to fill you at like the best possible price. So to set this up, you come here to auto, and then you go to hit or take, and you want to make sure it's always highlighted. Sometimes people forget to save their desktop and they walk away, and then maybe the next day they come back and they try to enter a trade, and you didn't get filled, and they can't figure out why they didn't get filled. Well, it's because the hit or take is not filled in, and you're just pressing it, but there's no actual price there. So we definitely want to make sure we have it on hit or take. So another thing here for the trade bar. So once you enter the trade, you'll probably get a notification that says order filled. So you have to be careful, okay? Because the thing is kind of loud. So you turn down your volume a little bit. But you'll hear it right away. So let's just say you don't hear it and you press BTO and then this cancel all lights up in yellow, right? If it lights up in yellow, that means you did not get filled. And it does happen, right? If it moves so fast, the system can't catch up, right? So what you got to do is you got to cancel all. And let's just say the play, there's still an opportunity to get into the play. You can cancel and then try BTO to get in again. But if it moves so far up, you don't want to chase it. So just kind of walk away from that trade and just get ready for the next trade. All right. So another thing too, once you enter the trade, you're going to have this close button light up in green. When this button right here is your emergency exit. If you can't get out for some reason using the STC button, that probably means that there's no liquidity, there's no buyers waiting to buy your contract. And that's what makes it hard to get out of play sometimes when there's nobody on the other side willing to buy your contract off because nobody's interested. So your emergency way to get out is using the close button here. This will sell you out at market order. Like I said, you should only be using it for a last resort. And then you have the order type for limit, route for intelligent, duration for day. Don't really mess with these. These settings are already preset, and you don't really have to mess with them at all. This OSO, these are for like conditional orders. I don't really mess with this too much because I don't wait for it to hit a certain level before I get in. Like I actually wait for the level and confirm before I actually get in. So you could use it, but I personally don't use it at all. Okay. All right. So now that we know how to load up our contracts, now that we know how to enter the trade, exit the trade, and change the amount of contracts we want and make sure that the hit or take. Now we're going to show you guys real quick how to pick a contract, because this is one of the things that everybody seems to struggle with, is figuring out what contract to buy. Now, buying contracts, it all depends on your account size. If you have $1,000 account, most likely you're going to be buying contracts a little bit out of the money, right? So you should only buy contract based on what you can afford. A lot of times, a lot of people ask us in Lead Capital, what contract are you guys buying? And we typically don't like telling people that much because, it's all going to range from depending on your account size. If I told you, if you had $1,000 account size, or let's just say you had a $500 account size, and we told you we were buying these 330 contracts for $765, you're probably going to be asking again, what contract should I buy? I can't afford that one, right? So do based on what your account size is. That's when you should be really trying to figure that out. Now, there's another way to do it, right? So I always typically buy the first 3 legs. They usually work out the best for me. The delta is pretty good. So like this one pays like a 48 per every dollar move. So I don't really care about that too much, but what I do care about is the volume, right? Now, when you first open Option Station Pro, you don't have this volume column. Now, to set this up, you come here to this little gear, customize columns, and then typically you'll see open interest would be the one that is actually put in. I took that off because I don't really care about open interest. I care about actual volume. So you come down here, you find volume, you add it, and then you press OK. And then you'll see the column. Now, we pretty much buy contracts based on the volume size of that strike. So you can see here, these 340s, they have 3,240 contracts that are out there being traded, right? So we want to buy the one that has, as an I myself, want to buy contracts that have the highest volume. So here you can see these 340s have a good volume. So I might click that, I'll copy, and then I'll paste it to my radar screen, and then I'll go back and look for something else. Now, let's just say I was going to get into something like mRNA, because mRNA has kind of been pretty good. And then here's another thing too. You'll always see two symbols come out. Always click the first one. All right. Now, here's another thing on the Option Station Pro. When you first open it, it always tries to kind of protect you a little bit. So it'll open up maybe like the monthlies, how you see here. Now, you have to be careful because that you should only be buying whatever, strike that whatever contract you want to buy. But the ones that are further out will typically move slower and they're more expensive. Like, for example, this 450, it's $3,500 to buy this contract, right? So these are a little bit more expensive, and this is good for like swing trading if you're going to hold over for like until October 15th. So you want to close that down, and then you want to come up here to the weeklies, which these are this Friday's expiration, right? So then you can see that the contracts are a little bit cheaper, right? But mRNA has been pretty aggressive, so the contracts are pretty expensive. And that's pretty much like how it is with stocks that are pretty much like hot stocks that everybody's trying to buy. So here, for example, if I was trying to buy a contract, I would probably be looking into this 460s because they have 7,000 out there. So I'd probably copy, paste. All right, and then we can click here, and now you see it's loaded up, right? So you can pick up to the first three legs if you want, but within those first three legs, if you can afford it, make sure you find the one that has the nicest volume, right? See, look at this 500 level, 19,000 contracts. So some people are betting big that they think that it's going to go to 500. Now, not necessarily will go to 500, but as the stock goes up, the value of the option will start going up with it. So it doesn't mean that you can't buy these. You actually can buy them if you like. That's up to you. But typically I wouldn't buy them this far out. For myself personally, I would look into more of like closer to at the money, just because the delta is a little bit better. For example, here it's $40 compared to the $12 per every dollar move. So I would be buying within the first three strikes for myself, but you can come out a little bit further. This little gray area kind of indicates like, where it's considered at the money. So that's how you pick contracts. That you should, like I said, always check first your account size, what you can afford, which one has the highest volume, and yeah, pretty much that's it. Volume, what you can afford. And then also a quick tip, these 0.5 contracts, don't ever buy those. And this is not financial advice, but I'm just saying that these contracts always have low volume, they're trash. So I don't think it's a good idea myself for me to buy these contracts at all. So just a quick tip, just they're low in volume, so they're not the best. So I would stay away from those. So, all right. So that's pretty much it. That's how you load up contracts, get them ready to execute, and get ready to trade. And then you would click here. You're gonna get this note right here. This message here because the market's closed. And let me show you another cool thing before we finish this up. So if you right now, you can see where I'm on sim trading and it's blue and green. Now, when you're really trading, it's going to be both green. But let's just say we don't want to close the app, but we want to go back into live trading. All you have to do is come here, work online, and then it shuts it off. You go back to work online, and then the window originally that where you sign in will pop out right here, and then you can go to live trading. And then once you're in live trading, everything starts loading up again, and then it's both green, green tab and green data, and then the green actual trading. So that's cool feature. So like that, you don't have to exit the whole program, which is kind of helpful because this program doesn't take a lot of memory out of your computer, but it's a little slow. But the thing is, the executions are so good. That's why we recommend it. And the sign up is, I believe, only 2,000 to start up. But with if you're part of an Elite Capital member, you can sign up with $500 to start, which is really cool because nobody gets that kind of deal. All right. Well, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. But I pretty much think I covered everything for the basics. You guys can go back and check out my last two YouTube videos to show how to set up the tape with pretty much instructions, and you can see how to set up hotkeys. And I show you examples of how to set those up if you don't want to use the buttons. So pretty much that's all I have for today for you guys. Next time I'll probably be doing a video on Lightspeed. So we'll see you guys later.